essentially carry performances on the Li-Ning before, so...
We even talked about how in the straight-up 2v2 at level 6, obviously Li-Ning does quite well, so it's not too surprising. You also have 3 lanes you can play around once again. Obviously, strong setup in the top side. You have an early winning matchup, a good 2v2 in mid, and bot lane that will just constantly push. You can play around.
And one thing we do have to mention as well...
do go and give Morgan a luxury gank first because he's obviously on the Renekton, but...
A luxury gank.
You know,
that's what you get when you go to like a really expensive hotel. You head into solo queue and the concierge comes over, pays the jungler or something.
Something like that, but... What I do mean by that is these ganks that, you know, they don't really change the dynamic of the game at all.
Light is getting chased out late already. Jomung is starting as he means to go on here.
Oh, God.
All 2 of them.
Oh, God. He's doubling down.
It only gets worse, boys and girls. Dragon going to be starting up by WE here as I swiftly change topics. This will be the 2nd Drake in a row for WE. But XX, he already got 1 Dragon Steel this series. Beishan going to be turned golden by the Bard, but they're just going for XX. There's no steal available when the enemy jungler is just going to be annihilated. Smite's still up, and so Beishan gets himself a kill and a dragon.
Let's highlight 2 things. That one, LNG can't really sandwich WE when it's...
Hang on, Teachama's getting ganked here by Flandre from the top lane. The taunt isn't going to go anywhere because of the gold card, but he's somehow surviving. Gets the knock-up onto Flandre, 1 more turret shot. But Flandre just gets out. I thought he was going to 1-for-1 that. Beishan is here, though, to try and answer for the play. Gets 1 kill for himself. Missing, looking for a root. Maple flashes it, still get root anyway.
I don't know if crocodiles even have biceps, but true.
I have no idea about crocodile anatomy, and neither does Flandre, as you can tell, because he's underneath his tower, and that is clearly...
Don't go together at all.
That's evidence if I need it to be, okay? Flandre now is in a bit of trouble because Missing is going to fight a root. There's no flash up, and he stayed way too greedily for this one. I should have seen this coming.
Still, nice ultimate by Wandi does save the turret in the end. It's now going to give them pressure to hover towards mid if they want. We also no one on LNG able to follow up XX, so that one was not a very realistic dream.
Hang on, we've got Jomung caught out here, flashes out, and Teachama flies into the play. Flandre suddenly finds himself very much alone. Jomung grabs the kill credit on this one.
So, was it Jomung caught out, or was Jomung having him answer the waves that Maple's pushing out and then playing around their strong 2 winning lanes on the opposite side of the map? You would Tempered Fate, not going to lead to anything?
XX wants it, but he's going to find an arrow to the face, kick back and take him down here. And LNG suddenly realize that was not the play. And you know what? I asked what kind of bard I want he would be. Haha, that ain't the kind of Tempered Fate we wanted here. Flandre pops a clone out, jumps back into the play, and gets winged down by that one. And, well, unfortunately, 1 net positive does not equal 17 net negatives. And since that point, it's all gone a little bit pear-shaped. Which is... coincidentally, the fruit that Morgan is pretending to be here, because Teachama's on the way. There's an arrow onto XX as well, but they might be able to finish Morgan off, and Teachama suddenly finds himself pretty lonely. Nice little ult there to stop Beishan following up onto the play, but he's going in anyway. Maple has to keep himself alive. There's so many stopwatches here, but Flandre's still surviving. Maple goes down in the back of the fight and Missing. Loses his AD carry now. This is the moment for LNG to turn things around. Beishan has a good amount of damage if he wants to go into XX, but the root doesn't connect in the end.
The key thing that LNG realized here was the fact that, hey, WE can't do Baron right now, so let's just commit all 5 members to getting a pick onto Morgan.
Hey, and do you know what? This is the 2nd time in the game. I was kind of being sarcastic earlier, but LNG are being proactive and forcing things when there's an opportunity to do. They're doing a good job of punishing here.
The great thing is that was really the only play that they were able to make. It's just, if Morgan pushes up a bit too far in bot side, if he's by himself, just an...
It should be difficult for them to get onto Light, but if they can help it, WE would love to ignore Light entirely and just grab this dragon. LNG now with the pressure on them, because it's spawning in 5 seconds time. You said now is the time that they can actually start to fight. See if that's going to be the case. Teachama having to use his proto belt just to get away from the skirmish that's starting. Destiny forward, but he's not going to be able to get onto Morgan here on the backside. Jomung DPSing on the dragon here. As LNG step forward to contest, they can't really afford to give Soul over, even if it is just a Cloud Soul. Teachama would love to get into the fray and get a big taunt. Dominus comes out from Morgan. In goes Teachama to try and protect his carries and protect him. He does. The Dragon went the way of WE, and the fight is going to follow as well. Light goes down. No free hitting for him as Iwandi goes through the wall. Maple to follow. But there's a slow onto XX, and Flash can't even save you now because there's a volley over the wall. And the taunts come through. WE, they've made it happen. They've got themselves a soul. And with a fight to boot, they're looking towards this Baron.
And overall, Munchables, I don't feel like LNG should be the ones making those aggressive engages like we saw. But great news for WE. Maple is, you know, at least buying a lot of time, giving his team, you know, the good, not recall timers, but good death timers. There we go. But still, ultimately just going to lead to WE getting the Baron.
It's still just going to be him going down in the end. There's pings on towards that bottom wave right now. Teachama with the Baron could have theoretically TP'd to try and make a play there, but maybe not worth it. We might be willing to go for that one anyway. LNG have to back away.
Yeah, now we're going to see WE play out a 3-lane setup. Teachama is pushing on the bottom half of the map. That bot lane turret's pretty much already down. He has ultimate to follow up. Anyway, he also has TP. So I like this. I like that WE are punishing all 3 sides of the map. LNG don't have a great way to engage anyway. We might see them go for a Tempered Fate play onto the 3-man core in the mid lane, but with XX down and Cyclone still not up, they don't even have that play available to them yet.
Yeah, XX got caught by the arrow. You can see the replay there on your screen at the bottom left, and now the siege begins.
And I love that you use the word siege because obviously the Ash volleys, all of Karma's abilities, sets up for a very easy time just pushing LNG off these turrets. And look at Morgan on the top side, is now left to kind of do whatever he wants.
And look, not even sieging in the bottom lane. They just brute force this one. LNG acknowledged that there is no way that they can fight at this point in the game. Not while WE have a member strong on them. Morgan has TP. Like, it's very difficult for LNG to find an opportunity now.
No, and I expect them to potentially look for a pick onto Morgan. It won't work out, especially if Morgan's playing respectfully. And right now we see WE playing with 2 men towards topside.
And let's just remember what we talked about a couple of minutes ago. The power spikes coming through for LNG. Well, they're 10,000 gold down now. That conversation is null and void. The power spikes don't really exist anymore. This is all in context of what your opponent has. And WE are just so damn far ahead.
And I feel like we've only seen teams like Top Esports really be able to pull off the execution of these certain comps that like want to play around Ezreal's range, disengage fights, and, you know, be able to win out over the long run, as compared to like the WE comp where it's, you know, everyone run in and we just hope for the best. That's why it feels like Top Esports is really one of our only teams that prioritize the Ezreal.
Jomon caught up here, but there's a redemption to keep him safe. Look at the support that Jomon has. How do you ever kill this guy? The Tempered Fate was great, but there's just nothing they can do. You
have a Galio, Lee Sin, and Karma all sitting on top of you. Great kick coming out from Beishong to make sure Flandre can't do anything.
And now Flandre could be the target as he's rooted up by missing, but WE not willing to commit because they can just move up to the top side. They want more towers for themselves. Another inhib tower falls. WE not going to overcommit, though. They don't want the hat-trick inhibitors here. They're just going to recall and spend some gold. And you know what? As a big fan of WE, I'm going to take it. Beishong, best jungler, not just in the LPL, in the world.
I mean, like, we think about it, what can keep WE as always being a top contender when their style is so limited, when it's so obvious what they're going to do? And to me, it is Beishong. He's a clear standout in his role.
Easy standout. As, I mean, competition like Tian can't stand up to WE, that's for sure.
Well, Iwandi tried.
He tried his best, and now we're going to go towards this top lane inhibitor. WE can just play this one as slow as they need to. Third inhib goes down, double supers coming through in the lanes now. And that's a good amount of damage on towards missing here, but Flandre kicked away once again by Beishong. And it means that that massive teamfight ultimate now down.
And Munchables, you pointed out, double supers, but now they do have like 3 lanes of super minions just coming in. So W can play the slow game. They can just sit in front of Elder. If LNG want to come contest, they just wait for the minions to push in their base. If LNG don't come contest, you get Elder. You now go to the enemy base with all of these super minions. You just end the game.
And you know what? We talk about W having one style, and you talk about, hang on, we got to fight here. XX going to be the one to start things off here. None of the damage is here right now because Jomong's on the Elder Drake. Flandre getting on towards the back line. Elder finished off though. Jomong still feeling strong. XX goes down. there's no way to win this fight anymore. Everyone still survived from WE on top of everything else, and the TP's straight towards the base. Not the greatest arrow I've ever seen out of Jomung, but it's not going to matter because Morgan is heading everybody off. Dominus on cooldown, but he's still going to be tanky. The sustain from his Q means he gets one as Jomung finishes it off, and now on towards Light. Flandrake finally gets his ult back up, but it's too little, too late from LNG. WE, they win out the fight. Nobody goes down, and they are rewarded with a 2-1 victory over LNG.
And WE are up to 7-3 in series, so still making their way up the table. And once again, we just need to highlight Bae Sean because this man does it all. Came into this roster, was a bit shaky starting out, but still was a middle-of-the-pack jungler even when he came into the LPL. And this year having such star-studded performances, even in Spring Split, obviously bringing WE a lot farther in playoffs than any of us expected them to go. Maybe other than you, but you know, I'd say most fans and